Hey, Eagle Vania, do you agree? The emotions of the football team you use during the season to root them on, victory, hoping for players to play well. The offseason, you got to take the emotions out of it. Who comes, who goes, who stays, who's part of the future, who's a core guy, who's not a core guy. Folks, that's not hating. That's called NFL. What, how's that? I've not said one negative thing except that guy's not part of the future. Nobody in a million years would sit there and say that Lane Johnson is part of the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not. Dallas Goedert's not part of the future. I mean, what are you talking about? Are you really going to moan and cry like that? So Howie's probably thinking at least, yeah, probably. Question is this. You think Sirianni's part of the future of the Eagles in 3 years? Says, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but who's Howie targeting in free agency? I think they first got to realize, who the guys that they think they're going to be able to sign. Hey, that number that people are floating out about Jalen Phillips at 17.5, so you're going to pay him less than you paid Josh Sweat? I heard John McMullen say Josh Sweat's not as good as Jalen Phillips, and you're going to pay him less and less than market value? Never happened. That guy's 21, 22 million bucks. Tennessee will hire that guy. You're not signing him for $17 million. That guy's going to be in the 20s low, I think, because of the knee surgeries. But he's out. Guys, don't get butthurt over this. You got 9 core guys on your football team. Davis, Carter, Hunt, Campbell, Q, Cooper, Devontae, and Milata, and Landon Dickerson. That over the next 3 years, and you know what? Now that I know he's got 13 injuries, Landon Dickerson is not going to be here in 3 years. There's no way. 13, what would it be, 18, 19? Be half the player. So in theory, you got 8 guys that are part of your future. Nolan Smith's not part of your future. It's debate. Hey, if you use this, N'Kobe, debatable. Not really. He was saying goodbyes at the end of the season. Like I said, you got about 8 guys that over the next 2 years you're going to have to build the team around. So I think one of the biggest problems is we have a quarterback that isn't a clear leader on the team. It's different. Saquon took over the locker room in a short amount of time. It was always the O-line before. I think that's a great comment by you. Okay? I don't think that Jalen Hurts is a core guy. I don't believe he'll be here 3 years from now. No way. No way. He's going to get better? By doing what? Running less? The less Hurts runs, the worse he is. The more he runs, the better he is. You got to figure that out first. Let's put this on the table about Jalen Hurts. The less he runs, the worse he'll be. The more he runs, the best he'll be. Plain and simple. He runs less in 26, and I think he will. He'll be worse, not better. He's not going to all of a sudden have some epiphany and turn into some sort of pocket guy when he's never been. His pre-draft scouting report has never changed. That dude's who he is. Sills is a Jalen hater. Super Bowl MVP. So what? So what? What's that have to do with his talent on carrying a football team? He can't carry a team. Dude, you couldn't carry a team past San Francisco, and it was a shell of a team. I mean, they were a shell of a team. He couldn't throw themselves out of it. And you had all the players you have right now. You had a 3-1 talent over the 49ers in that wild card game. And you couldn't score more than 19 points. You're going to get better? Yeah, but we were hurting the O-line. San Francisco had their entire team hurt. They lost Kittle in the first 4 minutes. One, your coach couldn't answer questions. And secondly, your quarterback couldn't throw you out of problems. Think of how bad that game was, Roland. That was Roland, you could make the argument that was the worst performance in the Sirianni era. And look, here's typical. You're blaming the OC for your quarterback sucking. Says OC sucked. Let's face it. Come on. And Sirianni doesn't help. So wait a minute. You go to the line of scrimmage. Your quarterback can't audible out of plays? He's not smart enough to audible out of you plays and get you into a better play? He's not. And your best play is to throw in double coverage on 4th and 11? He didn't see anything better than that? Look, he runs less, he'll be less. He runs more, he'll be more. That's the story of Jalen Hurts at 26. Plain and simple. If Jalen runs the ball and has 700 to 800 yards rushing, you'll win 13 games. If Jalen Hurts runs for 300 yards, you'll win 7 to 9 games. He's not a pocket guy. Get this. Here's something interesting. Shut the fuck up about Super Bowl MVP. So was Nick Foles. There you go. There you go, Temple. Okay? Temple, think about this. So let me ask you this, Temple. If the organization and the owner was thinking of firing Nick Sirianni twice, what do you think their feelings are on Hurts? Got the same record, don't they? They got the same record, 50-18 in the last 4 years. I can't think they think, well, we're going to think more of Jalen than we do of Nick. They may. They might. How you doing, my friend? I think you guys are going to have a really great year coming up, 49ers. Get all your pieces back. Bosa, Warner. I think John Lynch does a nice job at drafting. What factor did AJ play in the games this year? Did we win despite, or would we not have him change the record? If you don't have AJ Brown on that football team, what's the threat in the outside? Devontae? I think Devontae's a really good football player. Sasha, I think he is a really good football player. But do I think he's AJ Brown in a 1? I don't. Now, you put him with a quarterback like Stafford, he's going to get you 1,300 yards. You put him in an offense where he's got to be the number one dude, and the quarterback is not elite. I mean, he's not that guy. Like, Devontae Smith with Burrow would be insane. Devontae Smith with Kyler Murray would be a bum. With pick a dual threat. You know what he would be? He'd be Zay Flowers in Baltimore. Devontae Smith would be Zay Flowers. Like that. I think he's better than Alvin Harper. Harper had more speed, though. You just convinced me we have to draft high in the O-line sales. And if they don't start this year, C. Campbell, hoping for health isn't a viable long-term plan. Absolutely not. Where will you hide when you... Thanks for the super, dude. Appreciate it. A 250,000 steam steamy pile of shit. Reyes, thanks for the super. Appreciate it. Devontae is a twig. I think Devontae's a hell of a player, and I was wrong about him when they drafted him. He's been a viable guy. He's been a great player. Really has. Sills, Jalen is not the type of quarterback that elevates the players around him. I disagree. Well, unless you think the style of play elevates and not the quarterback. Because guess what? You know, Jimbo, I happen to agree with you. Jalen Hurts does not elevate the players around him. The style of play does. The style of play got those 1,000-yard receivers their numbers because nobody else gets numbers. And if you say Dallas Goedert had a good year, if you think 50 catches and 600 yards is good for a tight end, I get the 11 TDs. Excellent. But 50 catches for 600 yards, or I think it was 590, something like that. You think that's great? Sure. I don't. Tight ends in today's NFL, 50 catches? Sure. Then why they let them go? How about this? If Dallas Goedert had such a great year, why are the Eagles letting him go? Why'd they ask him to take a pay cut? It's in the offense, right? It's not the quarterback. They throw to two people. Him and him. Him and him. Him and him. They don't spread the ball around. Spread the ball around to who? Your third wide receiver, I pointed out to you, combined they had 29 catches in the 3-hole. I don't spread the ball around. If I'm a coordinator, I know where they're going. Right, left, right, left, right, left, throw out of bounds. It's not an offense. And most of those catches are 5 to 10 yards. So Smitty's talent could be wasted with Hurts. I don't think they're wasted. He gets his numbers. They win a lot. They win with this style of play. But, I mean, AJ wants more, in my opinion. You know, if I were AJ, I'd take a look at it more like the Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin could have had a hell of a lot more yards in other places. Michael Irvin sacrificed a lot of yards in Dallas. Why? Emmett Smith. I mean, Emmett Smith had 350 carries a year, 335. What was it? How many carries did Emmett have a year? And then you tell me, if Michael Irvin sacrificed Emmett Smith, how many carries do you think how many times do you think he went over 300 carries? I'll make a point to you here and why Michael Irvin is a better teammate than A.J. Brown. So here's Emmett Smith, 365, 373, 368, 377, 327, 320, 339, 294, 288, 254, and as his career was winding down. First part of his career, Emmett Smith was averaging 350 carries a year. There's not a lot of footballs to go around. How many attempts do you think the quarterback threw for? 20? There was about what? Because there's always 63 plays in a game. So you're talking about one guy, not Daryl Johnson getting the ball even in runs. You're talking about the run game getting 40 carries a game and 63 plays a game as an average. You're talking about 23 passes to Harper, to the tight end, and to Irvin. There's not a lot of footballs to go around in an offense like that. Okay? So did Michael Irvin sacrifice catches and yards? Of course he did. Because Michael Irvin wanted to win. AJ doesn't want to do this any longer, it seems. I think they're compatible. I think, here, let me show you. Michael Irvin didn't have, like, big, I don't think he ever had 100 yards or 100 catches. I don't even think he had 90 in a year. The offense was based around, was Emmett Smith. Wasn't based around the passing game. Here's Michael Irvin. 93. He did have 100 one year, 1995. 93, 78, 88, 79, 111, 64, 75, 74. I mean, Michael Irvin was 15-23 one year, 13-96, 13-12. Think about what he did as an average. Michael Irvin probably averaged what? 7 catches, 6 catches a game? Maybe 5 catches a game? Okay? But that was all Emmett. Let's see here. Imagine if Irvin stayed in Miami and played with Dan. If he was with Dan Marino, he'd have had 135 catches. That's what he wanted to do. He dreamed of playing in Miami with Dan Marino, and he probably would have had 130 catches a game. Sills, if the Eagles are a run-first team with a quarterback who can't pass, limited. I didn't say he can't. He's limited. I want to be fair. I didn't say can't. I said limited. An offense that can't convert third downs. That is a major problem. Your quarterback hurts the team when he doesn't run. Why? The reason that the Eagles are so bad on third down, the quarterback refuses to run anymore. He thinks he's going to make third down through the air. I missed your super chat. Big Z, I think maybe I missed the last one of Eaglevania. For a unit that won the Super Bowl, it's crazy that none of these players or coaches are guaranteed to be an Eagle in 3 years. No one is safe. Howie season. Eaglevania. That's not an Eagle thing. That's an NFL thing. Okay? Seals, did you hear the notion that the Giants fans aren't too keen on Nagy because of his history with then rookie Trubinsky? Folks worry it might be the same deal with Knicks. It's not Nagy's preferred quarterback. Well, let's take a look at that. And let's take a look at what Brian Daboll did compared to Matt Nagy as a head coach in Chicago. I thought Matt Nagy won the NFL Coach of the Year up there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Matt Nagy, didn't he throw for 4,000 yards one year up there? Now, I get what you're saying, style of play. Let's see here, Matt Nagy. I thought Matt Nagy had a pretty good, didn't he win a boatload of games? 34-31. They won 12 games. Then they won 8-8, 8-8, and 6-11. Had one losing season in 4 years. And in the first 2 years that he was there, they won 20 ball games. I don't know. I mean, did he win Coach of the Year? I thought he won the NFL Coach of the Year. By the way, the guys who were on that coaching staff, Brandon Staley was the outside linebackers coach. Vic Fangio was the defensive coordinator. And Chuck Pagano was the co-defensive coordinator in Chicago for Matt Nagy. So do you think one of the reasons that the New York Giants hired Matt Nagy is so that Matt Nagy can coordinate against Vic Fangio? Did you tie that in at all? Matt Nagy was hired in New York for a reason. Matt Nagy knows Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio knows Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy hired Vic Fangio. Okay? So they hired him for a reason. Okay? I mean, he knows Vic. That's why he's there. And I think he's not a bad hire. I don't have a problem with him as a coordinator. I mean, you could do worse. You could do worse. You could hire a guy who's never been a coordinator before and has only been a coach for 25 months. You could do worse. Oh, wait, sorry. Yo, Sil, serious thought. Between Patullo not being able to scheme and adjust and Knicks prevent offense, what can Hurts really have done more? You don't think he'll be better next year? No, because you hired a guy. How are you going to be better next year when you hired a guy he's less skilled than Kevin Patullo? Based on what? SS, tell me this. What are you gauging that on? And I'll go, yeah, that's a great thought. Hope? What's your litmus? Because he played? These are all lame reasons. These are all lame reasons. Why do you think Vic Fangio is a good coordinator? Well, he's been in the sport for 40 years. He's coached some of the greatest players in the history of the sport. He's elevated guys. He's developed players. Had a number one defense a couple years ago, and he's always really around the top 5 in his entire coaching career when it comes to being a coordinator. Struggled a little bit probably after his 11th, 12th, and 13th year, but after that, most of the time, he's been one of the best and most duplicated defensive coordinators in football. What can you say about Sean Mannion? He played at Oregon? Okay. So here, experience doesn't always translate to competence. So would you rather take a chance on a guy who is, let me ask you this then, Michael. If you had to have open heart surgery and you had 5 guys in the room, 5 guys were experienced and 5 guys had no experience on open heart surgery, but they told you that some of these guys were going to be some of the best surgeons of all time and your life depended on it, who would you take? Guy who's had multiple open heart surgeries and been successful doing it? Or would you go and you hire the guy and go, I have a good feeling about that guy. Go ahead, cut away. Open me up. I'm ready to rock. Is that how you would do things? Really? Well, remind me never to really cross bridges with you, dude. Hey, I don't really think that, hey, that's not a big hole. Let's just drive over it. Okay. I'll take my chances with people that have done it versus people that haven't done it. You wouldn't, though. Fair enough. Howie moved off of Wentz to create another Super Bowl. He did. He will more than likely do the same with Jalen. Of course he will. You gave a test pilot a pilot's license on a commercial plane. Hey, that's probably better. Mannion is a clean slate for Jalen. I like it, Sills. Okay, so he's a clean slate. What's his slate? We don't know yet. Here, I wrote this down about him. Where is it? We won't know Sean Mannion who he is until September. I know who Vic Fangio is now. I know who Matt Nagy is now. So we have no idea if this is going to work until September. Well, Sills, do we really know if Matt Nagy's going to work in New York? Well, he's got John Harbaugh. By the way, you know who the D coordinator is in New York? It's Denard Wilson, your guy. Don't you find it odd what John Harbaugh's done? So he hired a guy in Matt Nagy who had Vic Fangio on his coaching staff in Chicago. And then John Harbaugh hires Denard Wilson, who was your DB coach and who wanted the job instead of the Eagles giving it to Sean Desai. You think there's any coincidence to that? Do you? Or no? John Harbaugh is building a coaching staff. Get this. Okay, that's a reach, Sills. Come on. So wait a minute. You don't think the Giants are building a coaching staff to beat the Eagles? And by the way, Denard Wilson's running Vic Fangio's defense in New York. You think that's a reach? So you think that when people go into the April draft, they don't draft people to beat the 49ers or Detroit. They draft people to beat their divisional opponents. They hire people to beat the divisional opponents. You got to win your division first. You build your team around the division. So wait a minute. When they got Quinnen Williams, the Cowboys, they did that because why? Eagles run the ball. You think that's a reach? That's how they do it. Dan, I feel this offense is getting older and is expensive. Two things, coordinators, and two things that GMs hate to hear. Intern Sirianni, those are things people don't want to hear. Older and expensive. They like cheap and peppy. Cheap and peppy. That's what they like. Deals. Older and expensive? No one wants that. I think you need more balance. You'll never get balance with Hurts unless Jalen runs. Your balance in your offense when he was doing that was his balance. Throwing, running, throwing, running. Guy runs for 300 yards. That football team's not balanced, is it? Yeah, you're going to have to pay. Look at this. You're going to have to pay the defensive side now. You got 6 core dudes on that team. You got about 2 on offense. Depending on what you think longevity in the NFL is. I happen to think it's 3 years. So I'm going to use the Jimmy Johnson line. We got to beat the division, draft interior O-line, good DTs. That's how I learned it. So if teams are built to stop the run, teams are built to stop opponents in your division. Sasha, you built, if there's a dominant team, okay, why do you think there's a ton of great DBs in the AFC West? Derwin James, go down the list. Okay? If you don't have great DBs in the AFC West, you're not beating Mahomes. If you don't have edge rushers, okay? If you don't have edge rushers and you don't have corners in the AFC, you're not beating Mahomes. You're not beating Allen. You're not beating them dudes. So with teams, well, that's experience as a player doesn't make you a good coach. No. Take a special person to call plays and coach a player to their best in big games. Eagles have something in Jalen. I don't know if Nick is it. No, I think that's Jalen. I think Jalen's decisions and how he approaches the game is the thing that's now it's his move. I don't think they coach him very well, but when Jalen Hurts decides not to run, okay, he decides not to run, he's limited. Mahomes isn't the real deal. He's not. 5 AFC championships and 3 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl MVPs. Got it. Every time you open your mouth, dude, you sound dumber. Sills, I sent the super chat, need you to take on the Birds paying Vic more. I saw that and I read it. Flores, thank you. Mr. Hill, I saw that. We read it. Flip the script, you dum-dums. You have so much existing cap debt. Yes. If divisional opponents are built to stop their peers, then why were the entirety of the NFC East opponents ranked in the bottom 10 in rushing defense in the past 2 years? Great question. Every one of those football teams were hit with cap issues and bad management. Daniel Snyder's group, one of the worst groups in drafting, never landed on any real true draft choices that were anything. The Dallas Cowboys have been bad against the run, and they missed on Mozzie Smith. They missed on numerous draft picks. And because they were bad, that's an organizational miss on defense. They overrated their secondary. Their problems were in the draft and then overvaluating talent. That's why the Cowboys haven't been good on. That's why when people were saying this about Michael Parsons, actually the Cowboys got better on defense when they got rid of the guy. People don't want to hear that and believe that, but they did. Quinnen Williams has made more of an impact on the Dallas Cowboys than Michael Parsons ever did. People don't want to hear that. Sills, are you saying he's a better player? No. I'm telling you his defensive tackle position had more of an impact than an edge guy. You guys won a Super Bowl with not one guy with double digits. Shit, your 22 team, you had 4 guys with 10 sacks or more. The team in 22 or 24 that had the Super Bowl win, I don't believe one guy was in double digits. I don't think you had a double-digit sack guy anywhere. And you won the Super Bowl and you were dominant. Having 15 or 16 sacks, so what if you don't have it? Can he set the edge? Can he play? Can he put pressure on the quarterback and have volume? Okay? Seals, for DC, when Vic goes, Big Z for OC. Gotcha. There'd be a lot of running football, I think, with Zander being the OC. Me? What kind of defense? Oh, I bring pressure. I bring pressure with that talent. I'd move Q all over. I'd travel his ass. Cooper DeJean would be in the middle of the football field knocking dudes out. Says, I have something I thought about. Seems like Jalen benefits from a quarterback-friendly mindset play caller, such as Shane or Kellen. And yes, without a doubt, he was not good in 24, but it worked. Yeah, because they kept him in the sandbox again. You know why it didn't work as much? Because Barkley wasn't great. Barkley's not great. The offense won't be great. Don't you see this? In 2024, the offense was spectacular because Barkley was spectacular. 2025, Barkley was okay. The offense was okay. Jalen, nothing to do with it. Jalen was the same guy he was, I think, in 24 as he was in 25. I don't think he was any different. When he was asked they had to win a game, he couldn't do it. Game that mattered. It's boomer or bust next year. I believe in this team. Okay? But you have to have all the options on the table. I'd rather they go 1-16 than be the Sixers. It's a great take. I agree. I want guys taking – listen, I'll tell you this about your GM. Never rip your GM on moves. Okay? Because he doesn't stop making moves. That bullshit he did the entire offseason, I laid it out for you guys. Told you, those guys weren't going to make any impact. However, he didn't stop swinging. He kept swinging. He kept swinging. Adoree got better. You know, the only 2 moves he made that were worth the shit last year were Jalen Phillips and Adoree Jackson. The rest of them were not very good. Every other move. Hey, Kyle, how many moves did Howie? Let me see that. How many trades did he make for the 2026 season? 25 season, excuse me. How many moves? How many trades or deals did Howie Roseman make in 2025? Let's see. As early as November of 25, Eagle general manager Howie Roseman has made over 10 significant documented trades. And here, look, Kenyon Green stuck. Mechie was, I don't know. Alexander turned out to be a disaster. Carter, I don't know what happened to him. And Jalen Phillips. That's right. You signed Adoree. You signed Adoree as a free agent. So he wasn't really a deal. You signed him. How many signings did he have? How many deals? Let's go signings. How many players did he sign? Players. Did Howie Roseman 2025? That sound right? 14? 14 deals? 14 deals. Dory and Jalen. So the rest of those things he did were like not very good. But he kept swinging. He kept swinging. That's okay with me. You keep swinging like that. That's all right. Yeah, but Ringo was on the team already. Says the Cowboys had a top 5 offense and top 5 defense in 23. Dak is not a great quarterback when it matters. Okay? Sure. So play Howie. You're on the clock. You just lost AJ, Lane. The tight end's up in the air. What do you do? I'm on the clock. Eagles are picking at 23. Is that right? What am I doing in the draft if I lose those guys? Picking 23. This is preliminary now. The Utah O-lineman, Lomu. Possibly Denzel Boston from Washington. Maybe Cassius Howe, that kid from A&M who I love. Kenyon Sadiq, the kid from Oregon. I think he's a little undersized, though, and he's a junior. It's all going to be predicated, though, on what, again, everyone does. Because the kid, Terrell, I like him, the corner from Clemson. But he's going to go, I think, in the teens. I think the Cowboys are probably going to draft that Arizona State wide receiver if they lose Pickens. I'll tell you something, too, who could be down there at that time. Akeem Messidor. He might be down there, too, at 23. The other end on the other side of Reuben Bain from the University of Miami. So it's a hard question to ask right now. Because, again, we identified your core. And like you said, here's the biggest questions going into March 12th. AJ, Lane, Goddard. Phillips. Adoree. Here. Do I have to replace AJ? Do I have to replace Lane? Do I have to replace Goddard? Do I have to replace Phillips? And do I have to replace Adoree? Am I coming back with Adoree? Jackson? Those are all key spots. And get this, those are all premium spots. One wide out, left your number one tackle, your top target and tight end, your top edge rusher, and your second best corner on your team. I mean, those are 5 huge decisions. Now, if Lane goes, okay, if Lane goes, I think the progression order changes. I think because, again, here, think of this. If Lane retires and you can't re-sign Phillips, that's an edge and your number one tackle gone. Tight end, I might wait until the second or third to go down there. If you lose AJ in free agency or a trade or, I don't know, I mean, during the Super Bowl week here, I don't know. I doubt they do anything until after the Super Bowl. Okay? AJ, to me, if you're going to be a run football team, I think that's second or third. If you lose Lane, that's got to be a top priority. And then your second priority, I think, has got to be Phillips. You got to set the edge in Vic Fangio's defense. And that's all assuming that you think that J.Alex Hunt's going to continue to improve. Then you got to ask yourself, what do I do with Nolan Smith? I drafted him 30th. So, I mean, what do you do if you're Howie? Again, you first have to ID who do we think in the next 3 years? And I laid it out. Davis, Carter, Hunt, Campbell, Q, Cooper. I don't want to hear about borderline guys. These are guys that I think are your core dudes. Well, maybe this, if you paid him this, you kept. No, Kobe Dean's not a core guy. You know why? You can't miss 24 of 51 games. Or you just can't. You can't miss that many games. 24 games out of 51. Get the hell out of here with that. And okay, well, Sills, I'll only have to give him $7 million. Sure, I'll bring him back. Still unreliable to build a core around him. Is he good? Yeah. What's the point? Core guys play 17 games. On offense, I really think you have 2 dudes. Landon Dickerson's had 13 surgeries. 13 surgeries. He's going to get healthier? I heard John say that. Well, Landon's not going to play as bad. Okay, it might not be the fact that just playing bad. Just the fact that the guy has been under the knife. I mean, the last 5 years, every year? Dude, that's a lot of damage. Every time, you know what? I'll tell you a secret just on me. I got a lot of issues. I got a ton of issues. Okay? I mean, I have a ton of issues in my life with my feet, my back, my hands. Dude, I don't want to get cut again. And I'm older. I don't want to get cut. Getting cut sucks. You know how many times I've been cut? 3 on left knee, 3 on the right knee. I should have had surgery. My calf exploded when I was with the Cowboys. I've had surgery on both my elbows countless times. I've broken my jaw in every single finger in my hand. I've broken both wrists, and I've broken my arm. I don't want any more surgeries. And a guy like Landon, who's playing at that level for that long time, that's not a quality of life. When you get older, you don't have that great quality of life. I mean, I can't think the last time I slept 6 hours straight, like ever. I can't remember that. Am I complaining? No. No, not. Just telling you what it is. I'm telling you a story here. This guy's I've had nowhere near the surgeries that he's had. Okay? Get this. Sills has gingivitis? Probably. You know why? I didn't wear a mouthpiece. And you know what happened? Some of my teeth cracked. Yeah. I might. I've cracked my teeth. My teeth are cracked, some of them. Take goal line at 23, corner at 2. Wide receiver in the 3rd, edge in 4. Trade 5, 6 for tight end. I like that move, that Miami kid. Okay? Hey, by the way, no complaints. Okay? It's just you need some new, and probably, yeah, but that means someone's got to do surgery in my mouth again. You know what? I broke my jaw with the Bucks because I was stupid not to wear a mouthpiece. I hated wearing mouthpieces. I mean, I didn't think it was normal doing this. I'm out there huffing and puffing, and I'm gasping for air and putting something in my mouth. Yeah, okay. What, are you gonna gag me? Want to be waterboarded? I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, right? I can't breathe. I'm in Denver. In teacup. Right? I mean, look, I can't breathe. I'm in Denver, and I got a mouthpiece in my mouth. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sound normal? That's not a normal way of living. And then I got a guy, my wife's listening. Then I got a guy giving me some pills. I won't tell you who gave them to me. Hey, Sills, this will get you going really good. So this guy gave me a Black Beauty. I can't breathe. I got a mouthpiece in my mouth, and I'm in Denver. Congratulations. I'm ready to go. And the game hadn't started. And the game hadn't even started. I'm in Denver. Playing against Elway. Ready to go. Yeah, like I was like dying. It's only the 4th play. I know. Hey, yeah, I like that kid, that offensive lineman. It's hard to project that right now, sitting at 23. You know, would you move up? I mean, I could move up. I could move up in that draft, depending on what I'm looking for, depending on how desperate I am. Any advice for a 13-year-old son? 5'9", 199 pounds. Like all kids' dreams of playing the game, besides a beast this year in 7th grade football. Yes. You ready? Make sure he works his core. Seriously, if I had to do it all over again, work that core, do plyometrics, do a lot of box jumps. See, meatheads like me were in the weight room, just pushing heavy weight around. I needed to be a little bit more, work on them hips. Okay? Be a little more limber. A lot of jumping exercises. That's what I would do. Remember something about Big Sills, though. I'm a 600-pound bench presser, 800-pound squatter back in the day. Right now, I can't jump over a stack of dimes.